All right, so Bitcoin just took a huge hit, and pretty much everyone's scrambling, asking what just happened. But what if this wasn't some random crash? We're going to dive into one analyst's take on why this massive drop was actually predictable, something he was waiting weeks to see.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? Was this a full-blown market crisis, a sign of something way worse to come? Or was it a calculated move, something almost inevitable? Let's unpack the clues this analyst was watching.
Okay, so the analyst we're looking at today says he's been bearish for the last month, literally just waiting for this exact thing to happen. For him, this wasn't a shocker at all. In fact, it was the green light he needed to flip his entire stance. So, let's get into the first clue he was tracking. All right, first piece of the puzzle. According to his analysis, it's all about something called a liquidity grab. Sounds technical, I know, but what does that actually mean? Okay, picture it this way. You've got these huge pools of money just sitting there, waiting to buy or sell Bitcoin at very specific prices. The market itself is kind of like a magnet, and it gets pulled toward these pools to fill up all those big orders. And this analyst saw that there was a massive pool of buy orders just sitting at lower price levels, ready and waiting. And that's exactly what he says just went down. The price dropped almost surgically to trigger all those waiting buy orders to, grab that liquidity. He was calling for this exact drop to this exact zone for weeks because of this. So now that all those buyers have been pulled into the market, the whole game changes. The analyst says the next logical target is the other side of the coin, those big pools of sell orders waiting at higher prices. The incentive has completely flipped on its head. But hold on, it wasn't just about what was happening inside the crypto world. He points to another huge factor that really poured gasoline on the fire, a big ripple effect from the good old stock market. Yeah, he makes it really clear this didn't happen in a bubble. At the same time Bitcoin was dropping, the broader stock market took a serious hit too. And when that happens, you see this widespread panic. Investors start de-risking and selling everything, including Bitcoin. It just added a ton of fuel to the fire. Okay, so we've got the liquidity grab and we've got the stock market link. But he argues that all of this was leading up to the ultimate test for Bitcoin. We're talking about a single line on the chart that has time and time again decided its fate. And that line is the 50-week moving average. It's basically a line that shows the average price over the last 50 weeks, a huge indicator for the long-term trend. But according to our analyst, this isn't just another level, it is the level. And look, this isn't just some random technical mumbo-jumbo. History shows us that whatever happens right here, at this line, is a genuine moment of truth for Bitcoin. It's the crossroads that can define the entire market for months, maybe even years. So it all boils down to this, really. Two very clear scenarios. You've got the bull case. The price hits this line, treats it like a trampoline, and bounces hard. Historically, that's been one of the best times to buy. But then there's the bear case. If the price cuts right through it and stays below, well, that usually means much darker days are ahead. And when you look back at the history, man, it is stark. Look at 2014, 2018, and then 2022. Every single time Bitcoin broke below this 50-week line for real, it kicked off a nasty bear market. And guess what? Right now, we are testing that exact line again. So with the stakes being this high, you gotta wonder, what are the big money players doing? Well, the analyst points to a third and final clue, the behavior of the so-called whales. Right, so whales. These are the big-time players, the people or groups holding enormous amounts of Bitcoin. Their moves can literally shift the market. So watching what they do, especially when everyone else is scared, can tell you a whole lot. And this analyst is zeroing in on the long positions on the Bitfinex exchange, which is famous for its big professional traders. And this is what he's seeing. While the smaller retail traders might be hitting the panic button and selling off, the data shows the big whales are doing the exact opposite. They are piling into long positions, which means they're placing huge bets that the price is about to go up from here. And this isn't the first time we've seen this happen. He points out that if you look back, these huge spikes in whale buying have almost always lined up with major market bottoms. It's the classic be greedy when others are fearful scenario. While the public sells in a panic, the smart money is buying it up. And it's happening all over again right now. So, you put all the pieces together, the liquidity grab, the huge test of that critical line, and what the whales are doing,
What's the final verdict? What is this guy actually doing with his own cash?
Well, he's not just talking the talk, he's putting $7 million of his own money on the line. That's the size of his current Bitcoin trade. A massive bet that the price is going to bounce and bounce hard from right here.
So the takeaway is pretty simple. He was bearish, waiting for this exact drop. Now that it's happened, it's hit his key levels, and he sees the whales buying, he's flipped 100% bullish. He thinks this is a golden opportunity to start buying in for the next big move up. Okay, so that's his take. But what does that mean for the rest of us? If you're trying to follow this logic, what are the absolute key signals you should be watching on the charts right now?
All right, here's your checklist. Number 1, and this is the big one, that 50-week support line. Does it hold or does it break? Number 2, keep your eyes on that whale activity. Are the big players still buying this dip? 3, what's the stock market doing? Does it stabilize or does it keep falling? And finally, the price reaction itself. How strong is this bounce? Is it a weak, little dead cat bounce or a powerful move up? That's going to tell you a lot.
So here we are at a massive fork in the road. Is this the historic buying opportunity the whales seem to think it is? Or is it just the calm before a much bigger storm, before that critical support line finally breaks? This analyst has placed his $7 million bet. Now we just have to see what the market does next.